Welcome to a night edition of Tea Talk. Bedtime tea on last night's season 15 premiere of Real Housewives of New York. As always, let me make sure all the streams are in here. We are streaming live right now across Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. So, a few things before we get started on the season premiere of RHONY last night. So, number one, this is my first time attempting a night tea talk. So, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm a little ran down in the face. I'm tired. It's been a long day. I did a midday tea talk on Love and Hip Hop ATL. I know it's late, but I have two shows right now on Tuesday. I have Love and Hip Hop ATL, which I recapped earlier, and now we have RHONY, which returned. Real Housewives of New York returned. So I have to recap both, and they both deserve their own time. So I'm trying something different doing this nighttime talk. I'll try to be quick, but funniest thing, can you guys hear that? Because if you don't know, my studio is set up in my basement, and I don't normally do tea talks this late. But there is a cricket outside, like the back entrance of the basement. And can you guys hear that cricket? Can you hear it? I will never attempt a nighttime tea talk. My husband has to figure that out. Like he's gonna have to spray outside the door or something. But this cricket is driving me absolutely insane. Like I was yelling at him to be quiet before I started. Because I'm never down in the basement this late. I would be upstairs watching Housewives or something like that. So, excuse the cricket. That's another reason why I'm gonna be quick because it's annoying. Jefferson, Jeffa Babe said, "Sai is my girl." You like Sai? I ain't mad at Sai because she's a Sagittarius like myself, so I get her in a sense. But we're gonna talk about my thoughts on Sai so far with the season premiere. And again, sorry if you guys can you hear the cricket, Jeffa? Can you hear it? Love D Nice, hey girl. Y'all let me know if y'all can hear this cricket because I'm ready to. But anyway, I'm also spiraling because I just finished watching Salt Lake City. So midday tea talk coming tomorrow on Salt Lake City at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So don't miss that. I have thoughts, honey. I have thoughts. Let's get into last night's season 15 premiere of Real Housewives of New York. We started out with a flashback or flash forward, should I say, of after the season kind of finished filming. They're doing their promo photo shoot, and there was a lot of tension. It seemed like between Bryn and Uba, and tension just at the promo shoot itself, which kind of gives us a buildup of what to expect this season. So that's how we started off. I wanted to mention their opening fashions look great. While I'm not super impressed yet with anything I've seen on the first episode as far as fashion, they're giving New York fashion. Raquel, the new girl, has an edgy look. I'm digging her a bit, but overall, I'm like, okay, they're giving New York typical fashion, but I'm not wowed yet. But I will say their opening, like holding the apples, their taglines, they look great. All of them look amazing. And Uba looks, body is slaying. She looks amazing. But I just wanted to mention that. But anywho, Bryn moved to a new apartment for more space, but I honestly said it looks exactly like the same space she had before, if not smaller. But if she says it's more space, that's New York for you, girl. And she's now a dog mom. Her brother comes to stay with her. He's going to stay for about a month, and that's why she ends up having an event because he's in town, which we'll get into the event and all the drama that happened there in a little bit. But her brother's in town. Jessel is, she takes the subway with her husband. Look like she's barely done that. Says she spends like $900 a month on Ubers. You go, girl. I probably spend that sometimes on Uber Eats, but not Ubers. But anyway, um, Jessel takes the subway with her now food influencer husband. She said she married a banker. Now he's a food influencer because of, the Vietnam sandwich gate that happened last season. He really took off with his content creating with, his foodie lifestyle, which I think is dope for him. I think he's a cool, unbothered guy, and I like him. They seem like a solid couple still. They have, I would say, common marriage conversation about him, just thoughtfulness and, um, she wants more kids right now. He's like, no, we got twins. She wants a little girl. So just typical conversation between them, but they still seem like a solid couple going into this season so far. Um, Meanwhile, we see Bryn, Jenna, and Jessel meet up. They're furniture shopping for Bryn's little big apartment. And they talk about Aaron. Bryn is saying that Aaron was on Jeff Lewis, where we heard Jeff Lewis kind of insinuate that, like, where does Bryn get her money from? Somebody's affording her lifestyle. In my opinion, he didn't come out and blatantly say she's like a call girl or sleeping with men for money, but he did insinuate she could be like, a sugar baby or something. So, in a roundabout way, he kind of did say that, and she was offended by it, and she felt like Aaron didn't really defend it when she was on the show. She just kind of let it slide instead of nipping it in the bud. Um, and apparently there was a little bit of a get together where Jenna had, pulled Aaron to the side because Bryn had told Jenna that Aaron had a conversation with her and Jessel where she may have been joking. I can't see her saying that Jenna was really having money issues or broke. But she made a joke, like, we know Jenna has that old fashioned car that she was driving when they was in the Hamptons. It broke down, and Aaron offered to get her Uber, and the Uber was like $250, and she made a, like, I guess apparently we didn't see it, it wasn't on camera. She made some type of joke of like Jenna having money issues or being broke because she paid for the Uber. She's saying that she was just annoyed to have to pay for the Uber. I don't think Jenna is broke at all or having money issues, honey. I'm pretty sure she has more money than Aaron. And it seems like, not saying Aaron has money issues, but she was pressed about this $250 Uber. Um, if you're a big baller, why would you be so concerned? But she seemed annoyed by that, and Jenna pulled Aaron aside to talk to her at this get together they had at their house, and now um, Aaron is aware that Bryn has conjured up this story. She seems to have some, like, just PTSD from last season and what she went through with the whole cheese and stuff with that, with Psy and all of that. So she's like, basically, oh boy, here we go again with something else. So that starts what I call Moneygate. But is Jenna really having money issues? Absolutely not. Like, you can look at her and tell, you can look at her apartment, tell. Honestly, I think she's one of the richest ones on the show, if you ask me. This cricket is really blowing me right now, y'all. I don't know if you can hear it, but this cricket is blowing my mind. I'm trying to get through this and be consistent with my podcasting. Um, what else do we see? We see Cy and Jessel hang out. They do some type of cold plunge, whatever that was, supposed to help lose weight. But I ain't jumping in no cold water. Cy talks about becoming a better person. So I know Jeffa says Cy is her girl. I just feel like with Cy this season, she's on a redemption type tour where she got a lot of negative feedback from her being a mean girl or being rude last season. So, typical, I'm zen now, I'm going to therapy, which is nothing wrong with that. But we see this often in Housewives past history where they have a bad season and now they talk about being so zen and one with themselves and trying to be a better person. I don't know if I feel it's authentic yet. It, she's a Sagittarius, and I literally wrote, "You can't teach an old dog new tricks, especially not a Sagittarius one." We are a bit abrasive, and it's something that at her age, I mean, I'm gonna be 40 this year. I do my best to curb it, and I do my best to keep it at bay, my abrasiveness, my bluntness. But do I believe that she's changed since the last season completely and she's going to make it through this season without saying anything rude or cutting anyone off because she's upset with them? I don't. I don't know if I believe it yet. I just don't. So, like Sai, think she's a great dresser. Um, I get her Sagittarius ways, but do I think she's like this on this Hilton journey? I'm not buying it yet. We'll see. Um, Jenna has a girlfriend, guys. We didn't see her yet, but we saw her at her house with her mom, with her girlfriend's mom, hanging out. They were purging some shoes. And then we meet newbie housewife Raquel. She drops by Jenna's house. I like her, guys. I want to get to know her. I like her in a sense of interesting. I don't know if she's going to bring a whole lot of shade and wit to the group, but she's a model artist. She gives very New Yorker vibes, edgy. She has a fiance. Uh, Jenna and Raquel bond in the sense of they both were married to men where they got divorced and, kind of came out as gay women. And, Jenna has her girlfriend and now we have Raquel. She has a fiance. Her fiance looks so cool and dope. Like I want to get to know her more too. I just love their style, their vibe. I'm interested in this housewife. I really want to get to know Raquel a little bit more. She just seems free spirited, fun, edgy, fashionable. And I just want to get to know her a little bit more. Like I said, I don't know if she's going to bring any shade or wit, but I want to get to know her. I really do. Um, we also see Erin and her husband spend time, a little family time together, and we learn, and prayers out to Erin's mom. We learned that her mom has breast cancer. They thought it was just going to be a surgery to remove it, and she's doing chemo. So I suspect that, Erin's already on edge, if you're, in my opinion, of just trying to be in my opinion, I see Erin struggling with trying to control her image on this show. And that never really works out for any reality TV star, especially not a housewife, because you have to be and show up as your authentic self. It gets tiring to try to control your narrative and what's said in front of the camera and what's not. So I worry about Erin in the sense of her mom going through breast cancer treatment and also just her relentless control of what is being said, the narrative, what the friends are saying about her. She just seems very, very, very worried about those things. But she has a conversation with her husband. They talk about how they just moved, but they want more space. They talk about trying to move into this townhouse that completely needs to be gutted. And they're simply making a joke, or her husband making a joke about how this townhouse has like these, I guess, kind of murals on the wall, and he says something to the fact like, "Yeah, so it seems like a place you can take some shrooms and trip out." And she got so mad at him, like, "Why would you say that? Why would you say that on camera?" That's what I'm saying. Like she's trying to control not only what she says in the narrative, what, like I said, her friends say, her husband say, her children say. She seemed a little annoyed even with her son, who was like, "Our apartment is small," and she was like, "Why would you say that?" She just is very, very concerned with what's being said in front of the camera. She pretty much bit his head off, like, "Why would you say that in front of the camera? Are you dumb? Like, why would you say that?" She did, and her husband let us know too that it's more to it with their marriage, but she's keeping that close to her chest. She doesn't want to talk about, I guess, the underlying issues of why she's snapping at her husband, or she doesn't want to go into it just yet. I suspect it will come out within this season. Again, it always does. So it's just best to be transparent, talk about it. And unfortunately, because you're signed up for reality TV, be judged by the world by what you're going through. So, love to see what you think, guys. Your guesses. You can comment if you're not watching now. If you watch later, comment. I'll respond and wondering what you're thinking about what this underlying issues can be. I always say it could be another woman, just because when these husbands are on these housewives shows, they become like these magnets that no one respects your marriage and wants to holler at your man and be in the DMs. But I just the way she's acting, it gives me some trust issues or underlying issues. I really don't know what else it could be. But that's my guess. Sorry to say, I don't want that to be true. I don't want to seem like I'm banking on her marriage to fail or anything like that. But that would be my guess. We'll see if it comes out in the season. I mentioned, yeah, we also, everybody's getting ready for Bryn's event. I told you guys she's having an event because her brother's in town, like a little get together, a little rooftop bar. Which, by the way, that rooftop bar there we're at, I've looked at a few times and wanted to go there, and I was like, dang, should have went there in the summer. Maybe I would have been on camera. But yeah, we learned a little bit more about Raquel and her fiance while she's getting ready for the party. Um, where are my notes? This cricket is getting on my nerves. But we meet her fiance. Like I said, she looks super dope and cool. They're bikers. Raquel's engagement ring is very unique and interesting. It's like this big gold almost take up majority of her hand. Just very them, I would say, artsy and just different in their engagement ring. And her fiance picked it out with her children, what makes it even more special. Just like something that kind of represents her and can tell. I love when someone's partner just knows them and gets them. I sense that with them, and like I said, I'm excited to get to know more about them. Um, they get to the get together, and it seems Bryn has been very busy stirring the pot. I saw that in a commercial where she said she's got carpal tunnel from stirring the pot so much. But yeah, she's been a little busy. So we have the situation with Jenna and her telling this money issue. My husband's coming down the stairs, guys. Like, I have to tell him really quickly. I am annoyed by this cricket. You can hear it, right? Like, you would think he's sitting right here with me and he's outside. It doesn't even sound like it's coming from there. It sounds like it's coming through that door. Like it's out there. You think it's in there? Sorry, guys. We have to figure out Cricket Gate right now because I'm never doing another night show again. Never again. I really can't. But anyway, yeah, it seems like Brent's been stirring the pot. We have Jenna thinking that Aaron is talking about her in a fashion of she having money issues and she broke. Aaron saying it's a joke. We have Sai upset with Bren because she feels the same way. Like Bren is kind of stirring the pot and making things awkward, running back, telling stuff. And Erin's upset with Jessel now because it's like she feels like Jessel sat in on the conversation where Bren told this money problem issue to Jen and wasn't kind of on her side of defending her that no, it was just a funny joke. Jessel's trying to stay out of it. She's like, I'm just using the excuse of I'm a mom, I don't remember, I don't know anything. She's I'm struggling with Jessel. She's funny so far in this episode, and I think she's gonna be funny, but what she says in her confessionals are not matching her actions in people's faces. And that I have an issue with on these housewives shows. Like, if you're gonna give shady energy in confessionals, give it in real life too. So that's my observation of Jessel so far. But Jessel wants out of the conversation. She doesn't want anything to do with it. Cy and Aaron, they confront Bryn about her pot stirring, and Aaron is upset, you know, with her, while Bryn is just as equally upset with her about the Jeff Lewis conversation. And she's saying that basically, like I said, Jeff was calling her a call girl. Cy steps in and say, "No, that's not what he said." But in a roundabout way, he really did. Jeff Lewis is messy. We know this. And I don't think Aaron really participated in the messiness from what I saw in the clip. It was more so like she didn't want to say the wrong thing, if you ask me. But Bryn's upset about that, so she's clearly getting back at her with this whole "you said Jenna has money problems" situation. I don't know. But I thought you got rid of the cricket. I thought he got rid of the cricket. It got quiet for a second. You probably know he coming and trying to get rid of it. But Cy was talking about the tension at the get together at Jenna's house and saying that it was caused by Bryn, and Bryn is like, no, it's probably because of what you said about Jessel's husband. And she has the text messages, screenshots, timelines, proof, and receipts, honey. She's the one kind of going back into text conversations and recalling what people said, even if they got past it. Sai got really upset. That's why I told y'all she is not on this hill journey she wants y'all to think. She's a Sagittarius set in her ways. But she was like, "You have no integrity. You are a gaslighter, an asshole." Like, she went off and she was like, "Not today, Satan. Not today, Satan." Like, okay, baby, baby Candace Dillard Bassett, honey. But she walked away, and just overall, I do think Brandon's stirring the pot a bit, but only in the fashion of keeping it honest with what these girls are saying. Because again, if everybody just said what they're saying behind each other's backs to each other's face, we wouldn't be in this boat, or we would be in this boat, but we would be having those conversations real time and seeing them hash it out at the time that they said it. So I don't know. RHONY got my head spinning. My head is still spinning from Salt Lake City watching that tonight, because it's a lot of that too, of the he said, she said, the flashbacks and all of that going on. And we just need to keep it 100, housewives. That's all. Keep it 100. There ain't nobody keeping it 100. So I'm here for it. I told you guys though, RHONY has to grow on me. The last season I wasn't too impressed with. It could be partially because I'm still missing the old housewives of New York, minus um minus what's her name, Ramona. Minus her, I do miss the old housewives of New York. So the last season, season 14, when they stepped on the scene, the newbies, it felt more like trauma bond, not even trauma bonding, trauma competition. They wanted to sell us a sad story, each of them, to get us to like them, I would say. Hi, Biggest Boss June. Thank you for stopping in. I'm doing a nighttime tea talk and tie it at that. But yeah, they have to grow on me, and I just really don't like it when housewives talk shit behind each other's back and can't say it to their faces. Because then we get into these situations where we're looking at Bryn like she's a pot stirrer when she's really the one keeping it 100 and telling them what they said. But I'm seated for this. I'm gonna have to figure out another time because it's cricket outside. Is definitely not the vibes I'm looking for. But for the next kind of 3 weeks, I do have to do 2 shows on Wednesday, so I'll figure it out for next week, because Love and Hip Hop ATL has about 3 episodes left, and then it will just be RHONY that I have to recap on Wednesday. So we're gonna figure this out. I appreciate you guys for stopping by for my quick little RHONY. I didn't even put them up on the screen, y'all. That's how tired I am. But there they go. For my RHONY conversation and just my thoughts on the first episode, I will continue to recap and give my thoughts on them, but I'm trying to give them a chance to grow on me, guys. I really, really am. Work with the kid. But don't forget, I will be back tomorrow for a midday tea talk, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, recapping tonight's episode of Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. I got to let that settle in my brain and read over my notes, and I'll be ready to give you my thoughts tomorrow. And I'm going to also be binging um, Love is Blind, season 7, which dropped today. I already started watching. I gave you guys my authentic first thoughts of the first 30 or 40 minutes of the first episode that I'm watching. So I'm into it. You know, I love Love is Blind, so I'm watching that as well. But guys, before I get out of here, as I always let you guys know, if you have a business or product you want me to promote, my promo rates are there. I'm looking for sponsors for this podcast, guys. So if you want me to promote your business or your product on all my midday tea talks and weekly recap of news, reach out to me. It's reality_recap@yahoo.com. My Cash App is there for you guys to support. I appreciate the support you've given me so far. The followers, the new followers, welcome. And I will be putting up my schedule. I'm just waiting to kind of figure out some things. I'm going to give you guys an updated schedule. We know we have Real Housewives of Potomac come back. RHONY's on now. We're in the middle of Salt Lake City. A lot of shows for our fall winter lineup. I'm going to be a busy podcaster, but I love it. So before I get out of here, as I always say, don't forget, reality TV stars are humans too. Let's not forget that. It's your girl V with Reality Recap. I will see you back tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, for a recap of tonight.